the best of the week on Relevant Radio.
Let's go to Reba. Hello, Reba.
Hey, good afternoon. Thank you for taking my call.
Yeah.
I couldn't have come at a more apropos time.
Mm-hmm.
I have been praying and struggling with this all week.
Okay.
And so to have this topic was just sort of a godsend. But I'm a mother of 4.
Mm-hmm.
Our oldest is a 14-year-old daughter, and then she has 3 younger brothers.
Okay.
And just as a little backstory, my mom and I had kind of a little bit of a strained relationship when I was growing up. We have since repaired that, and she now lives with us, and we have a wonderful relationship.
Nice.
But I definitely saw, the struggles that she and I went through as mother and daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I kind of carry a little bit of that fear around with me all the time, hoping that I never make the same mistakes and, wind up going through the same struggles as my mom and I did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But just in the last week, my daughter and I have hit a major brick wall, and I've really, really struggled with how to navigate this and how to move forward.
Okay.
But last weekend, it was something around chores and me asking her to do something, and she just had given me so much attitude. So much attitude. And I kind of put my foot down and said, no, you can't treat me that way. You can't speak to me that way. That's not okay. And she just, kept rolling her eyes and giving me the cold shoulder, turning her back on me, wouldn't engage in conversation. So finally, she did accuse me of always talking like always accusing her of doing things wrong. Never. And that's all I would ever say to her.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I tried to point out that that's not actually the case. And we couldn't really continue the conversation, though. It just kind of ended at that point. I knew there was no sense in going, trying to push the issue.
Right.
So the next day, I actually took her out to a little coffee shop. I bought her and myself a little coffee. We shared a breakfast sandwich, and we went back to the car, and I just invited her to have a conversation with me. I was very calm and said, yesterday didn't go very well. I wanted to speak to you about that. Would you like to have a conversation with me? And some things had happened earlier that morning at church, and she was still, I guess, upset at me for that. I told her I was surprised because leading up to church, I didn't feel like we were okay. Apparently she did. Mm-hmm. She said she had gotten over what had happened the day before. And anyway, I will try and wrap this up. It's been tense all week. Mm-hmm. When we tried to talk last Sunday, she basically said she didn't want to talk about it. I tried to open the door really wide, really gentle. Mm-hmm. And she just said, nope, I really don't want to talk about it. And so I was very disheartened and felt like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
True.
Right? I can offer her to talk to me, but I can't make her talk to me.
Yeah.
And that's what was playing in my head the whole day. Okay. And then the next morning, it occurred to me that I'm her mom. I'm her parent. She's only 14 years old. She's not going to have all of the skills, all of the tools, all of the knowledge, all of the wisdom. And so at some point, I might need to sit her down and say, okay, you might not want to talk to me, but there are some things that I need to tell you, I need to say to you, so I'm going to need you to listen.
Okay.
So I thought about, having that conversation. It's just been a busy school week.
Sure.
And this morning, it just kind of blew up again. And just the attitude, I can't even say a single thing to her without her completely shutting down.
Got it.
And I am just worried that I'm going to make one of those 10 mistakes that you guys were starting to talk about.
I don't even think we got number one.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about it today. Anyway, so Monica, your thoughts.
Oh gosh, so many thoughts. Well, one, this is a really normal stage of development for moms and daughters. She's separating herself from you, and we need her to. I mean, little boys separate themselves from mom very early and attach to dad, and girls, this separation is later. And so we have to sometimes weather these storms. It doesn't mean we tolerate disrespect, though. And so I think that there's conversations and there's boundaries. You can't force her to talk, and we can't force her to be ready to receive lessons. So I would kind of caution you from sitting down and being like, you're not ready, but I'm going to tell you what, because we want her to be able to receive, right, what's happening. And if she's really closed off, like, words will just fall on a hardened heart. And so we have to be patient with that.
So I agree 100%. But the two thoughts that jump to my mind is when she made some statement and you said to her, you're wrong, she's going to get her dander up then, and that's not going to end well. So generally, to say you're wrong is probably not going to encourage a conversation.
Yeah. So Reba, if I could offer, I think what my dad is talking about is there was this moment in your story where you said she feels as though you always criticize her, and you're like, you're wrong, I don't. And let me point out the ways that I don't do that. And I can completely understand this desire to move into kind of this defense and be like, wait a minute, this isn't reality. But what we've just done is we've just completely shut her down and said what you're feeling isn't accurate. Mm-hmm. And instead, we have to sometimes, as parents, put our defenses down and take that deep breath and say, what tells you that I'm always criticizing you?
Mm-hmm. Help me understand why you feel that way.
I'm always criticizing you. And here we're going to start to kind of get to the root of what she's seeing. And we're not saying she's seeing it correctly, but we still aren't fully seeing with her eyes yet.
Correct. And if she's saying it, she's thinking it's the truth. And the idea is, okay, I need to understand why you think this is true. I don't see it that way, so I need to understand. So the spirit of curiosity helped me understand why you see it that way is a really important thing. And it's hard to do because you want to defend yourself and say that's not, and it's obviously not true because you do have good conversations with her, but she's seeing it that way. My second thought is this might not have anything to do with you at all. I mean, she's 14. She might be having all kinds of problems at school with her girlfriends. They might be icing her out. The mean girl thing is kicking in at 14, or even younger now.
Hormones are
going wild. So this might not have anything to do with you at all. So what you want her to be able to do is to come to you and say, well, you know what? My best friend just dropped me, and now she's hanging out with another group of girls, and I'm not included, and my heart's broken, right? So this might have absolutely nothing to do with you, and it could be with what's going on in her relationships at school.
Okay. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Absolutely 100%. I hit the nail on the head. I definitely feel like I get defensive when, she accuses me of doing something that would certainly create optics that I'm, being a bad parent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
But I hear what you're saying in terms of needing to validate her feelings, let her know that she is heard, and then to explore, where those feelings are coming from and, why she thinks that. So
there you go. Yep.
Yeah, and I think we want to remember that in this stage of development, it mimics a lot of their toddler years. It's just that they have the verbal skills now to throw their tantrums. Whereas before,
it's a verbal tantrums.
It's a verbal tantrum.
Right. Yeah.
Right? So, but it really does, their brain is going through a very similar stage of development here. And so there's a little bit of patience. And so one of the things I encourage parents to do is really think about, like, gosh, when this happens, how am I activated? Like, what's happening in my body and what's happening in my mind that's going to cause me to move quickly in response and to pause and to be like, ooh, I am feeling pretty hot right now.
Yeah, what's going on physiologically?
Take a minute.
And it's good to have boundaries. I'm okay with saying you don't get to talk to me like that. So we're just going to stop for right now, and I'm going to calm down, and we'll revisit this later. That's good. That's a fine thing.
And part of it is like she's learning, and so I really also encourage parents to be very to be honest but soft with what we like pause and we say, wow, that was so rude and it hurt my feelings. I'm going to take a minute because it's true. What she said hurt and it's allowed to hurt. And you're like, wow, that was pretty mean. I don't really feel like talking to you right now. And it's a cue for her to be like, oh, wow, like I'm not thinking before I speak sometimes. And mom has feelings. Wow, she's human.
Correct.
Weird.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. Does that help, Reba?
Absolutely. And do you have any suggestions on how you would recommend proceeding if she doesn't of her own accord ever make a move to want to have the conversation?
Got it. Right. So Monica and I talked about it at the break. We have two different perspectives on it. My perspective, and I'm not saying I did this, but because at 14, Monica was the perfect child. But my thought is I might just let it go and not even bring it back up, but just be prepared for the next time, because I promise you there will be a next time. So you might want to just let this one go, and because she's 14, there's going to be other opportunities to have this conversation. That's my thought. Monica.
Yeah, and I would say that maybe we just do one clarifying or checking in moment with her, right? So I'm imagining maybe you just poke your head into her bedroom and you say something like, hey, we've been off, and I'm not going to force you into any conversation, but I'm always here if you want to talk about what's going on, even if it means it's about me. And I will try my best to listen and to be here for you. Kids need continuous reminders that it's okay to tell their parents really hard things, even if they know it's the right thing to do. And I think sometimes parents even need to say, it's okay if it's about me, right? And because that, right, we can help her process it. But she almost needs an invitation to say the hard thing, because she doesn't know how. She doesn't know the skills. And so and then, we say it one more time. We open that door. We kind of fall on our own sword if we need to, and then you let it go.
There you go. Reba, what do you think?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome. It's great. I'm sure my husband would probably take your approach, Doug. I think I'm much more in line with Monica.
Male, female.
It's nice to have nice to have two viewpoints, but God bless you both. Thank you for all of your time.
Thanks so much. Yeah, my final thought, Reba, is listen, you and your mom went through a rough patch and you came out of it okay. You and your daughter come out of it okay. Second thought is you go to her guardian angel. Ask her guardian angel to help her too. So there you go. Reba, thanks so much. God bless.
That was the best of the week on Relevant Radio. The best way to listen to the best of the week is on the Relevant Radio app. Free and always free. Download and share the #1 free Catholic app today in the App Store.